will not relent on seeking legal redress if the EC board, Charlotte say, fails to give him audience to rectify the anomaly and put him back onto the list of aspirants to contest the 2016 elections.
He has been a member of the party in good standing, and he has been with us in the political process for several years. He's not a man to cause mischief or anything like that. I am asking the chairperson of the EC and the returning officer, we know by the end of this Thursday this week when we can meet and deal with this matter positively, because I believe that it is a simple administrative or clerical matter that can be resolved. I in no way want to disrupt the electoral process that is underway in this country and cause any kind of uncertainty. However, if we cannot solve this matter simply, administratively, then we will take the legal route.
Meanwhile, lawyers for one of the 13 disqualified presidential candidates, Nana Konadu have written to the Electoral Commission demanding her reinstatement. They say the EC's decision to disqualify Nana Konadu and her National Democratic Party, NDP, from contesting this year's presidential election was in violation of the EC's own rules. To that extent, the lawyers argue that the Commission, quote, may have acted illegally and unreasonably. In a 4-page letter, Benchilencho, Lecha and Akuma said the reasons cited for Nana Konadu's disqualification have no basis in law. At a press briefing Monday, EC chairperson Mrs. Charlotte said the Commission is unable to accept Madam Rawlins's nomination because the number of subscribers to her forms did not meet the requirement of Regulation 72B of the CI 94. In their letter, the lawyers argue that EC had no power to proceed in this manner. They say the lawyers led by Asankoma maintain that Section 43 of the Representation of the People's Act, which requires the EC to keep a record of persons disqualified from being registered as voters or voting at an election, also imposes an obligation on the EC to, if any person properly disqualified is already registered, to delete that person's name from the register. And Jacob Oseboa is the only independent candidate who sailed through the EC's vetting process, being those who have wondered what his success story has been. He's joining us on the telephone lines now for discussion. Good evening, Sen. We're grateful for your time. How do you feel that 13 people were disqualified, and of all the lot, you are the only independent candidate that made it? Hello, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. So I'm asking what your immediate reaction is to the mass disqualification of other aspirants and how you feel that you're the only independent among the 4.
Let me first and foremost say hello to your viewers across your network, TV3. I would say that I'm good. I feel good, and I actually stand in awe of this feat and talk by my team and all those who actually help in diverse ways, especially the clergy and traditional rulers who actually help us. Let me say that to me, it's not a victory for Jacob Oseboa and his team. And again, I do not see it also as a victory for those of us who qualify. But I think it's a victory for the respect of rule of law. And I think that is something that all of us should understand. And I'm also encouraged, listening to the other aspirants who are also disqualified, and that they are also yearning to take the matter to court.
I know
and that is an indication of the fact that we are maturing as a people in our democratic disposition.
I know that you've made it, this will be the second time you're making it through the filing process and qualifying to contest for elections. I need to hear from you, what does the trick for you? What made it successful for you to get there?
Richard, you see, my background, I'm an electrical engineer, and I am also an expert in identity management. And so this is a technology that I really understand.
And you're a pastor, and you're a pastor too?
Oh yes, I'm a local preacher in the Methodist Church. I do preach as well.
So you are wearing 3 roles at a go,
yes.
You think these have helped you be able to sift through all the requirements and money to successfully file your nomination?
Yes, really. And in 2012, some of us also had certain experience that also helped us in this one. In 22, when I presented my nominations form, 2 of them, the EC pointed out 2 of my subscribers that were not qualified to nominate me. And so they asked me to replace those 2. And we did that. And so this time round, looking at the intensity of the whole thing, plus the fact that I am also in court with the Electoral Commission. And so I was more careful together with my team that we needed to ensure that the same measure that we expect the EC to respect the law, whatever
you also respect the law
that are also governing the filing process, we must also ensure that we live up to that expectation.
And so what do you say to those who suggest that most of those who are disqualified took things for granted and thought the EC will be lenient?
You see, EC has actually come out with a verdict based on the law. We all heard Madam Charlotte actually quoting certain aspects of CI 94. And then we've also heard about these disqualified aspirants who are also trying to pursue the matter in court. All of these, I think, is in the right direction. But
right.
What I will also ask, and especially with EC, is that that the EC came out with the fact that those the other subscribers whose signature changed, that the EC was just trying to say that they were going to take the matter up with the police and then the Attorney General, meaning that the EC is just trying to criminalize those issues. But it could be some genuine mistakes, and I think that in the law courts they have a saying that you can temper justice with mercy.
But so it means you don't think the EC chairperson was being unnecessarily too strict?
I can't say unnecessarily be too strict. Because somebody like me have taken the EC to court, expressing the fact that I want EC to crack the whip and then abide by the regulation. And so you can't say that EC is being strict. But in any case, you can always temper justice with mercy. And that is why I'm also equally urging the disqualified aspirant to also think deeply about the urge to take the EC to court. Okay, so it's a two-way affair.
So
because at the end of the day, it's democracy.
You're advising them against going to court, hoping that the Electoral Commission will be sympathetic and listen to them and allow them to correct the errors and put their names back onto the ballot.
You see, I would always want to stand by the law. Okay, and so you see, if the issue says that this is where the law lies, I cannot challenge that. But I'm actually pleading the aspect of criminalizing a genuine mistake or mistake made out of ignorance. And you can also agree with me that ignorance is not an excuse.
An excuse
so far as the law is concerned.
That's right.
But you can always temper justice with mercy. And so I just don't want the issue to pursue the issue along this direction. That is all what I'm pleading. You know that I'm finding it difficult in coming out with this pleading, because the same measure that I have measured the EC, I know that EC is also measuring all of us in that same equal manner.
Mr. Osei-Boah, we're grateful, extremely grateful for your time. Mr. Jacob Osei-Boah is the only independent candidate who made it to the 2016 ballot paper. Very soon, the EC will ballot and position each of these four going into the elections. My name is Stephen Nt.